Borat, subsequent movie film directed by Jason Wallner and starring Sacha Baron Cohen, takes place 15 years after the first Borat film. This time, Borat is sent to America with an urgent mission to deliver his daughter as a gift to Vice President Mike Pence. As time goes on, Borat realizes that his mission is more complicated than he originally anticipated, as is his relationship with his daughter. With ups and downs along the way, Borat attempts to once again be triumphant in America. Alright, so Borat 2 is a film that kind of slid under the radar a little bit during the pandemic. It's so weird with these digital releases because it just doesn't quite feel the same. We don't have a strong sense of normalcy right now, and it feels like films like these that would at least be in the spotlight for a few days at least if they had been released in theaters in a normal situation, in a normal climate. But with this type of film, it just felt like it was released, people talked about it for a few days, and then it was forgotten. I didn't even watch it myself until recently, and that should tell you something because when I heard it was coming out, I was actually really looking forward, just to seeing how they would recapture the magic of the first one. I'm glad I watched it though, because it's an expectedly awkward film that's fun. The first Borat was something really special because it felt so different, because it felt so unique in comparison to everything else that was in theaters. It captured the more eccentric aspects of society, I guess you could call it that, that many of us don't experience in our day-to-day lives, and it did so in a fun and engaging way. Both films are extremely awkward at times, even cringy because of how uncomfortable the situations become. They do escalate in many ways that would cause most people to exit the situation, but not Borat and not these participants, which makes for some good reality TV-like movie magic. The good thing is Borat 2 delivers a very similar experience to the first installment, which is a good and bad thing that I'll get into. I don't think I'll remember this one quite as fondly as the first one because, like I said, it does deliver a pretty similar experience. And the first time you get that experience, it's just a little bit more enjoyable. But still, I did enjoy this film and I would recommend it. There's definitely times where I didn't enjoy parts of it just because of how uncomfortable the situations become. But that is part of the charm of the Borat experience at the same time. It's a train wreck you can't look away from. And that's partly what makes it funny. It limits the rewatchability of it, but you have to admire it for what it is. I haven't watched any reviews because I try really hard to read and listen to as little as possible when I'm formulating my own critique of a film, but I'd be willing to bet that everyone is praising Maria Bakalova, who plays Borat's daughter in the film. She is excellent and really does steal the show quite often. Her character contains the eccentrics of Borat, but offers a fresh take on the cultural intricacies, I guess you could say that, of Kazakhstan. Not only is her character funny, but she's also really compelling because of the growth she undergoes. She starts as this very isolated, awkward woman, and by the end of the film, she turns into a confident, strong woman who forces Borat to address his own flaws and insecurities. I really like that this Borat delivered the awkward, uncomfortable moments, but also delivered something in terms of character growth for Borat and his daughter alike. It's satire in how it approaches a lot of the father-daughter relationship, but by the end of the film, I did feel like there was something serious and genuine there, and I really liked that. I mentioned earlier that Borat 2 feels like it delivers a pretty familiar experience. I think this is both a positive and a negative, like I mentioned. It's a positive because more often than not, a sequel has to capture some of the magic of the original while also offering something new. And that's what Borat 2 mostly does. It's also a negative though, because I felt like Borat 2 does a lot of the same things that Borat 1 does. I understand that in a way, there's really only so much you can do with a Borat film. The goal was to put Borat into as awkward a situations as possible to see how real people react to him and the situation. Plot is always minimal in these films as the focus is being as funny and over the top as possible. That's part of the charm of Borat, like I mentioned. But I also feel like it's incredibly limiting. I feel like the Borat films are a collection of scenes or experiences rather than a cohesive experience that, leads to something greater. And it works, it does work overall, but it doesn't lead to much rewatchability. I think these films that, are ones that you watch once and say, yeah, that was funny, I enjoyed it. And then you move on to the next one. Ultimately, while Borat 2 is very awkward and very funny, it does retread a lot of the similar territory that in the situations it presents as the first one does. But I say all that and then also say that the film does achieve its purpose. It puts Borat and his daughter in awkward situations and it's funny to watch. Some of the situations though, particularly the one with Rudy Giuliani, oh my god, they hurt your soul with how uncomfortable they are to watch. I think part of what's so intriguing about the Borat films, whether it's intentional or not, is that it sort of holds up a mirror to society and shows us how members of American society act both when people are watching and when they aren't watching. It reveals certain things about the character of certain individuals and certain cultures, and there's always a really interesting mix when you throw Borat in there. Borat is really the ultimate reality television movie star because Borat as a character serves as a catalyst for the creation of awkward, uncomfortable moments that people, as a viewer, you can react to. His daughter does the same thing in this film, and it's always intriguing just watching how people react to cultural differences as extreme as his in America. It's often funny, sometimes it's revealing. I like that. No films that I know of, at least, are doing that as effectively as Borat. Comedy and real-world drama are mixed in a satisfying, entertaining way with the Borat films, and this one delivers, in a similar way to the first. And honestly, that's really as much as there is to say about this film. It provides the laughs similarly to the first. It provides the awkward nature in some fashion, in the same fashion. It delivers some new things here and there too. Is it a bit too familiar? A little bit, but it still works and delivers a satisfying experience. I honestly don't think there will or needs to be another one, but who knows? There always could be. I do think it served its purpose though, and bringing us some laughs during a pandemic where we could all use that sort of thing right now. As for the pros cons, for the pros, Borat 2 delivers an awesome new character who is amazingly performed in Borat's daughter, plenty of familiar laughs and awkwardness, and some satisfying character growth for the two main characters. As for the cons, I think the film tends to feel too familiar at times. I'm still going to give Borat subsequent movie film an 8 out of 10 and recommend you check it out if you're looking for a good, awkward, but fun time. Even if you didn't watch the first one, I'd recommend this one. If you did watch the first one and you enjoyed it, then you'll enjoy this one too. So did you guys watch Borat's subsequent movie film? What did you think of it? And if not, let me know why not. Also, let me know how you're doing in the comments below. I think we're all hoping this pandemic will be over soon, so I like to check in every now and then and just see how you guys are holding up, because it is a tough time for a lot of people, so it's always good to talk about it every now and then. Either way, look out for more reviews in the near future, and I will catch you guys in the next one. This is WillFoxification signing off. I'll see you in the next review.